This episode is brought to you by Tabletop Dominion, purveyors of handmade dice and artisan gaming accessories. Why not head over to tabletopdominion.com and use the code BILLOW to enjoy 10% off your order? Who knows, maybe you will find your very own blue dice of power.
Hello and welcome to the billowing thing, whatever podcast thing. We hope you're well, readers. We hope you're enjoying the funny little story. I'm not going to go on about ratings and reviews, and I'm not going to go on about social media. Instead, let us just push straight on with episode 151 of the Billowing Hilltop podcast. Slaughter is the best medicine. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Hello. How is everybody enjoying the spring sunshine, I hope?
It's been very good.
Raining today.
It's just me again, and Dan, and Graham, his giantness, Dr. Eusebio Spider Lucas, and the obscenely corpulent form of Johnny.
On a not so clean high chair.
On a not so clean high chair, because we haven't had a chance to get in with all the required equipment to sluice it down since last time.
Gambled and lost.
Where we haven't got any emails to get through. We've got no Paul anyway. He's still on charge. Nobody's going to be reaching into his bag for the foreseeable future. So I think we just push on. I've got no other admin to get into. Does anybody want to do a recap of where we left things last time? Or
I want to know about Severiana Outsplinter.
Oh yeah.
Because
what would you like to know?
Well, Cuthbert was talking about her in the past tense, and I feel like I've missed.
He bumped her off, didn't he?
There.
Lucas
on a jet plane.
Everyone knows Chun. Severiana was the head, Granny Outsplinter.
Yes,
she
I
was
know
the
who she
head
was.
of the Outsplinter crime family. She was still around when you were doing the Champion's Belt and all of that.
Yeah.
Cuthbert was taken under her wing. That is your understanding. He abandoned you when you were exploring the Sodden Hold.
I can't do this
anymore. Turned to the family fold.
Was his note.
I can't do this anymore. Exactly. There were some prophecies that Marcus Doombringer took you through when you visited him on Truespire Island. And those prophecies included one which was something along the lines of an orphan shall sit upon the green chair, and a grey fire shall consume a great city.
Mm.
Well, the green chair is the storied and legendary throne of office of the House of Outsplinter. And Cuthbert was an orphan. You took that prophecy to mean that at some point, were Cuthbert to assume the green chair, to take the throne of the Outsplinters, that would be one of the prophecies fulfilled.
Mm.
It was a series of prophecies, all of which had to be fulfilled before the Age of Worms was upon you.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
The grey fire will consume a great city. The grey fire is a sort of a nom de guerre of the Outsplinter family, and the grey fire will consume a great city. He took to mean they would seize control of Evenstar. So far, so good. Then, when you were exploring the Spire of Long Shadows, when you slew Makar, the six-armed space wizard Greebly, that was the kind of end-of-level boss, you triggered a final vision in the Spire of Long Shadows, and that showed you a series of events, one of which was Severiana Outsplinter drinking from a poisoned cup and falling to the floor, while a slender figure watched on from the shadows. You took that to mean that you were seeing the actual enactment of the prophecy that Marcus had referred to before. You also saw a series of criminal events, extortion, kidnapping, murder. Perpetrators in every case bore the signature 3-flame tattoo of the Outsplinter family on the inner surface of their right wrist.
Mm-hmm.
You took that to mean that the grey fire had consumed a great city. You return to Evenstar now and you find that this is true. Cuthbert is clearly the head of the Outsplinter clan, and they are putting the moves on all of the other crime families, trying to land grab, trying to grab territory, right? All of that. Everything seems to be coming to pass. Does that put you in the picture?
Right. So we saw a vision of Cuthbert basically poisoning Granny.
I've got to be very careful here. Yeah. You saw a vision of Severiana Outsplinter drinking from a poisoned cup and falling to the floor, whilst a slender figure watched on from the shadows.
Yeah. So what I'm asking is...
You don't know? A slender figure. Okay. That's what you saw. Just a shadowy figure.
And now it seems like Cuthbert's in charge. Sorry, can I, Johnny, just...
To all intents and purposes, Cuthbert seems to be in charge of the Outsplinters.
Surely Severiana Outsplinter passing away would be news that would go like wildfire throughout the whole kingdom. Have we heard any of that? I would imagine that Severiana Outsplinter dying would even be news in Frosthanger.
It would be, but just to be absolutely nail it down, that was 2 days ago.
Right.
Also, Severiana Outsplinter, very rarely seen in public.
Right.
The last time that you know that she was seen in public was she apparently, so far as you know, was present at the games when you were competing. She rules her crime family, or ruled her crime family, with an iron fist from in the shadows somewhere. Obviously not the house that you've just invaded. Is she alive?
The slender figure was Alessandra, right? Because Paul did this rather odd intro to one of the episodes once, talking about poisoning his tutor, about not being happy with feeling abandoned. So I reckon Alessandra...
This is very metagamey, Johnny, but your understanding from listening to extracts of Alessandra's diary is that she's got form in terms of poisoning the people that get in her way. Well, she had form before she was killed. But if it was Alessandra, she was with you when you saw the vision.
Okay.
So you'd need to stitch together some kind of logic, which meant that either it was or wasn't her that was with you.
There's something weird with Alessandra, though. Like the way she died.
You're telling me. Yeah, when she died, she turned into a cloud of grey and green sparkling dust motes that disappeared.
Homunculus thing, like the things that we were talking to in the Cuthbert's house.
When you spoke to Cuthbert in your brief but sharp argument in the casino a few sessions ago, he said life and death isn't a black and white thing for us Outsplinters like it is for you. There's nothing to stop you talking to people and asking them, have you heard the rumours that Severiana Outsplinter
I will ask Fortuna this specifically.
She says, it looks like it. It looks like Cuthbert's in charge. That's what she says.
Okay. Who's
and
this
how long does
he
have? Has she had the feeling that that's been the case for a while, or is this like really?
This
new?
is This is over the last couple of days. Everything has changed.
Okay.
Gump goes. It's all falling apart. There's a fine balance. All of the families.
The question
is all
is
falling apart
which family is Gump?
Because of that squirt.
Which family have you, Gump?
Gump family.
The Gump from the Gump family.
Yeah, he looks at you like, you what? Who's this? Who's this green
Lord
idiot?
Gump
I think Gump is someone who works for Cuthbert that's just trying to test that we true to our word.
I'm sitting right here, Scrawny.
Good night.
We want to arm wrestle.
Thank you for the update.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, what do you think of my...
No, bugger off.
Fair enough.
Tell us the plan.
It's not a plan. I just know Cuthbert, they have got a hideout.
Right.
Have you been to the residence?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yes, it's very weird. Have you been there?
Well, no, not myself, obviously not, no. But we all talk to each other. There's rumours. We don't know what goes on in there, but it's very odd. Do you know they have the same day over and over again?
What do you think?
Interesting.
What do you think they are?
You know, he calls them his mommets. The mommets.
Mommets.
Some kind of enchantment. If you were to stop one in the street, one of my boys has done this. They went out for ice cream, as they do every day, at the same place, at the same time. They think they're normal. They have no recollection. They don't realise that it's the same day over and over. It's very odd. Anyway, they've got a hideout, and it's obviously not there. There's 2 ways in.
Yeah.
There's a teleport, apparently. There's a circle.
Oh, yeah.
I've spent an awful lot of money trying to find out how to get in there that way, and I've come up with nothing.
Right.
So that would be information that would be
Oh my
of
goodness,
value
that would
to
be
you.
information that would be yes.
Okay.
But there's another way in. You can get in through the sewers. We just don't know how.
Well, that's helpful.
No. I know where. I just don't know how.
Right.
Well, here's a copper
been in
piece for your time. We'll see you later.
I've been warned about you. If we're going to do this, if we're going to do this, there's 60,000 gold pieces for each of you, plus all the magic that you can recover. But you can't include him because he's annoyed me. You've been to the Cenobi. You've been into the sewers under the arena.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a way. There's a way into the Outsplinter hideout through the sewers. The problem is it's heavily guarded. Not only that, there's something weird going on. The sewers that lead in there, it's not normal. I've sent a couple of boys down there, they didn't like it, but you're a different order of things entirely, you four. You've got what it takes. Yes, to use a real-world reference that makes no sense here in this milieu, but yes, you have got cojones. Anyway, what do you think?
Well, we have other matters requiring our attention right now, but...
Fair enough.
Okay, so you know that there's an entrance down there. You know it's heavily guarded. Do you know where? Any more information?
One of my boys would know the way.
Okay.
It's not like we have a map. You'd need to get down into the Scenery, down under the arena, get into the sewer system under there. On the other side, apparently there's a refuse cave full of ochre jellies, I've heard.
Oh, yeah. We knew that.
On the other side of that, it goes into the main sewer network. You've got to be careful. You don't want to end up being flushed out over the cliffs. You go the right way, you could make your way to their hideout.
How do we make contact with you?
Ask for Fortuna. She'll be here.
All right. Okay. We will bear that in mind, and at some point we will take you up on that bit of intel.
Not exactly emphatic, but I get the general idea.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's all he's got. I bid you good day.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, well, I press a copper piece into his palm and thank him.
Why don't you put one on one eye and one on the other eye, just in case? And he disappears.
Oh,
excellent.
Fortuna goes, he does that a lot. Can I get, you've had some lunch? You got everything done that you needed to get done?
Yeah.
We have rooms upstairs if you want to stay.
Yes, we need to rest overnight if that's okay. Just one
That's
night,
fine.
and then we'll be gone.
Of
But we'll be
course.
back in a few days.
Okay.
Okay.
The place is at your disposal.
Cool.
She gives you a room that you can share or you can split yourselves up. Not into individual pieces, obviously, but between yourselves.
So we can press the long rest button
Yeah, sure.
and we can
Yay.
acquire the uncommon and rare items now. Are we fast forwarding?
Well, it's up to you. You take your 8-hour long rest. It's breakfast time on Moon Day, the 15th of Fart.
Okay.
You have all of your spells back, all of your hit points back. You're totally refreshed and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
Shall we go back to Frosthanger? We've been away for...
I guess we need to go and
day?
get Scaly.
You've been away for just less than 24 hours.
Yeah. We go and get Scaly, find out what he's been doing.
Yeah, because I'm assuming that he was going off to go and look at La Shana or whatever she was called.
Yeah.
And then we could find out what's going on there, and presumably there'll be a thread going on there.
Burple and Parker,
Yeah.
can you both give me
Uh-oh.
Constitution saves? Parker, yours is at advantage.
It's that potion you drank, isn't it? The one that increased your charisma. Or constitution, wasn't it?
Constitution save.
At advantage, 16 and 10. So 16.
Burple, what you get?
Purple burpish.
Burple Burpish.
Purple Burpish.
Purple burpish.
15.
15.
Okay. That feeling of well-being that you noticed when you first arrived yesterday, you realise after a night's sleep that it's sort of
Wearing off.
diminished. You only feel a lot better. You're rested up. You're re-energised. But that warm feeling of almost sort of narcotic well-being has faded.
Okay. What was that?
Both of you, you know when you're getting a bit of a sore throat? You've gotten something that's on the way, and the first presentiment is often this odd thing where you don't even know that you've noticed it until you think, oh, actually, no, that is a thing. And you've got that slight kind of sense of swelling.
You got
like,
a worm
above
in you.
above the above the Adam's apple.
Okay, Scaly. Right, let's leave
And
him.
just sort of
Hinge
that
head.
slight tightness, that slight
Yeah,
feeling of
one
kind
of
of
those things.
inflammation.
Worm zombie.
Both of you, Parker maybe a little bit less so, but both of you, it's like you've got a little bit of a bit of a soreness, a bit of a swollen gland thing going on.
Can we do medicine checks or something?
Sure.
To-
Yeah.
We can do the surgical medicine check with sword of sharpness.
Yeah, let me get it out.
A 12.
6.
Surely I get a medicine check on Burple as well.
Sessions.
13.
So I get a 26 on Burple and
Yeah,
a 12 on me.
yeah. So you're checking yourselves out, you're checking each other out, applying your medical knowledge. Looks like
Little wiggly worm.
tonsillitis or something. You can't see anything. Your medical opinion is that you're both coming down with a bit of a
Worm.
sore throat, tonsillitis, bit of a flu bug, something like that.
Wormitis. You're doomed.
Yeah.
You're doomed.
Graham, have you got a cure disease?
Cure disease.
Maybe a remove curse?
I presume this is all taking place in your room upstairs at the Dyson Desire the next
Yes.
morning.
And also,
Breakfast is
I'm.
brought to you
Yeah.
under cloches. There's kedgeree, eggs, bacon,
Well, it can't be
creams and
disease
yogurts.
because I'm.
orange juice.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I can,
Well, because
I can
can't
cure
be
I'm immune to
disease.
disease as a monk.
So
Yeah.
remove curse.
Remove
Can you
curse.
detect curses, something like that?
Or we could go and see a priest,
Yeah.
a high priest somewhere.
Could do.
Or maybe even go and see Marcus Doombringer. Figure out what this is.
Probably
Might
a
need to.
wise choice.
Yeah.
Can't be
but
nothing.
no, I think it would be good to have it checked out properly now.
Yeah.
If it is going to be something wormy,
All right, let's go and check out. Let's go and find a priest, someone of, a high priest
Yes.
of healing.
Okay. So you're heading off into Evenstar.
yes.
Let's just get the
Yeah.
Evenstar map.
Was it just us that drank the potion?
Paul.
Scaly drank a potion.
And how is
We
he
don't know.
feeling?
That's something that you just have no
We
idea
don't
about.
know.
Well, he could already have turned scaly.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Don't like it, Mike. Don't like it. Okay, so where is Cathedral of Ort? Yeah, me too. Temple of Tonge.
Something like that.
So you're round the corner from the Temple District. There's Winsome Filler of Cupboards, the Deaf Watchmaker, Thump, the Temple of Tonge. The Cathedral of Ort is a little bit north.
What's the most likely?
More healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Royal Free
Why
Hospital.
don't you give me?
We're after a diagnosis.
give me a charisma investigation check. Do it as a group check. That is, if more of you succeed than fail, as a group you succeed.
investigation
That's one success.
29.
Parker's charisma investigation. So it's not a straight investigation, it's a charisma investigation, right? So it's using your charisma bonus rather than your intelligence bonus.
Oh,
So that's actually a 33.
Okay, huge number from Burple. Parker, you got
so I got a 11 then. One less.
an 11. Sessions gets a 15. All we need is for Buggy to come up with a half decent number.
Rubbish. 6.
You ask about as to the best people to help you with something like this, and opinions are split between trying to find a priest and trying to find a wizard. A wizard would mean
Go to the
a
sorcerer's
wizard
Spire.
would mean going into Cloak and Dagger, which is the district which
I think if you want a wizard, we go to Marcus Doombringer, surely.
well, yeah, but that's a separate question. But yeah,
Wouldn't we go to the
the Sorcerer's Spire, well, that's a complicated process. I mean, you have to take a boat across and you have to be
Okay.
approved, and it's a weird sequestered place.
We'll go after a wizard.
You can ask around Cloak and Dagger, or you could head for the Temple District. Which one do you want to do first?
We'll do the cloak and dagger.
And ask around. Give me a charisma
Yeah.
investigation check. Do it as a group check again.
Burple gets 20.
Big number from Burple
21.
again.
Sessions
Okay.
get 6
And then-
11.
And finally Parker.
Ugh,
Okay.
one.
Hitting the potion shops and the bars and the coffee shops that fraternity frequent. Doesn't get you a straight answer. Can Burple and Parker both give me another Constitution save, please? Parker, you're at advantage. Big number from Burple.
Burple gets 19.
8. Actually, I might use a luck.
Was that an advantage? You got an 8. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to
Wouldn't
use
you be
one of my
better
luck
using your
dice.
Ort dice?
No, I'll use my luck dice first.
Okay.
Ort dice.
I think we've established that you can use a luck and an Ort dice on the same roll.
I'm just wondering whether I can use them all on the same roll.
Luck you can only use once, I think.
No, luck. You have to
Luck.
accept the new result. We done?
Hang on.
Ort dice?
Yes. Ah,
Hey.
there you
Okay.
go.
We didn't find anyone in cloak and dagger.
No. What do you want to do now?
Go to Marcus.
Yeah.
All right, let's teleport to Marcus.
Okay. You appear in Marcus's lair.
Well, I don't.
Things are pretty much as you remember them, with a couple of changes. First of all, you appear in this teleportation circle that sits in the centre, with all the little bridges running out to the different sections of this circular thing, with the big windows looking out, some of them under the lake. Marcus's desk normally sits in a pool of shadow, but it's lit and there's no Marcus. Struggling against its graviton bonds behind Marcus's desk is this neutronium golem figure that's been there since you first encountered him. There are a couple of his wits, these little segments of his personality, busying themselves about on the surface of the desk, but there's no Marcus.
Can we talk to the wits?
Well, as you look around you, there's a couple of other things. First of all, Bondi is there, looking at you, biting on a lower lip thoughtfully. Second thing is Eligos is there, wearing sort of white utilitarian robes with like pens in the top pocket, holding a clipboard. She is standing next to some kind of apparatus. Out of this apparatus snake tendrils of some kind of substance, cables or something. They run into a long sarcophagus-like glass object filled with liquid with bubbles running through it. To think back to tank. Floating in that liquid is Scaly O'Toole. He's dimly lit by little wear lights sitting at the base of the tank. He looks in a state of peace. Eligos seems to be checking him and checking some device that is connected to the tank.
He seems to have had a bad week.
She looks up as you appear and she says, don't be alarmed.
Right.
You realise that there's a sort of shimmering force field of some sort enclosing you, as it were, sealing you off on this little central pillar area. She looks at you, Burple, and you, Parker, and she says, how are you feeling, you two?
Well, that's why we're here.
Yeah, but how are you feeling?
Okay.
I think we are okay at the moment, aren't we? We had some weird flushes, didn't we?
We felt good.
That's the menopause, Lucas.
Yeah.
We felt good, and then we felt bad. We think it's related to these vials in these weird bottles. What's happened to Scaly? Because he had one as well.
Yes. So, Bondi, why don't you
Is that where we're
tell
headed?
them what we know? They're sort of on either side of Marcus's desk, and Marcus isn't there. It's like it's like the apprentice from Alan Sugar's. I'm off on urgent business. Bondi says, we've got to be very careful with you. Scaly's found a bottle. She fishes around and produces, basically, the bottle or a bottle that looks exactly like the bottles that you drank those potions from in the cave when you defeated the weird acid pool monster.
Yeah.
He found this in Okaral's hotel room. It looked like he was sharing that room with Rachnian. No sign of Rachnian. Okaral, well... And she kind of nods over to a corner, and you can see there's a sort of slab over there with what might have once been Okaral on it. She starts walking her way round the gantry, circumnavigating the chamber, and as she gets round to the sort of gurney that what might have been Okaral is on, she says a command word or something, and a little tank lights up, and in that tank there is a weird green grub-like, worm-like thing, but with filaments spreading away from it, like the strands of a man of war. And as she gets near it, it starts twitching. It looks like it's been very severely damaged and it's knitted itself back together. She points at it. She says, we took this. And when she points at it, that little raise in her voice, it kind of goes and kind of twitches towards her, presses up against the glass. Out of him, she points at Okaral. And there's one in him. She points at Scaly.
Which means there's also some in us. If it's
this is what we think.
Right.
You drank one each, right?
Yeah.
Not me.
Right.
Okay, well that's good. At least the cleric is okay.
How did you?
Scaly.
What did you have to do to get it out?
Well, you chopped it out. I bribed the watchmen in Frostanger, the ones that took away the body,
Okay.
and the remnants of this green thing, and I kept the bits separate. We brought them back on the sub.
Have we tried to remove curse yet?
Yes, we did. And Marcus's voice comes out of nowhere. You realise that it's actually one of the wits is sitting on the edge of Marcus's desk, legs dangling down like a little goblinoid figure. Thanks for coming along this morning. I've been called away on urgent business. Let's mix up the teams. Buggy, you go with a spire. Parker, you move over to stratagem. We tried to remove a curse. We tried to break enchantments. We've tried things to remove poisons and diseases. We are struggling to find a solution. We have essentially induced a state of catatonia in your friend Scaly here while we do some researches.
How did he get here?
We brought him here on the Crimson Spellcoctor. He agreed to be anesthetized, and we brought him here.
Is it time for a commune or an augury?
We have looked in all of our papers. We have cast some enchantments. Agath of Thrunch, he will be with us shortly, has communed with Tonge. We think there are potentially 2 or 3 solutions. The first solution, it's not a certainty, it's very risky, is effectively execution and resurrection. It is possible that were we to end your lives, we could extract the parasites, because it is a parasite, resurrect you, but what we are not certain about is whether or not any lingering particles of whatever this organism is would still be resident within you. We believe that Scaly is somewhat protected against the effects, though, because of his paladinhood. And we believe that you, Parker, also, even though it is not a disease, the way of your monkish discipline may protect you slightly against the parasite. Yes? The second way is to find some kind of answer, some kind of as yet undiscovered enchantment. This is risky. We do not have long enough to pursue the relevant research. Option 3 is the option that Bondi was after, that Scaly was after, when he was trying to follow his own path in Frosthanger. That is to discover the source. And then maybe, by extension, to discover some kind of antidote or curative preparation. Work out the initial formula. How was this concoction originally developed that you drank? Yes, yes. This, we do have some possibilities. Your friend Scaly and Bondi tracked the source of these specific bottles. Bondi kind of lifts the bottle up to an organization called the Red Blades, a merchant organization in Frosthanger. Now, we do not know if they have imported these bottles or they have developed them themselves. It is of no matter. The Red Blade seems to be the natural next step, looking for the source of these concoctions. Yes? The head of the Red Blades is a very wealthy woman called Mahudril. She is very well connected in Frosthanger. She is a contact. She is an acquaintance of Zich himself. She also rules this organization. Bondi has been asking questions and spending a little bit of money. She rules this organization with a bit of an iron hand. It's not universally popular, and Bondi has exploited this. Bondi has spent a little bit of money, passed around a little bit of cash, and has gained some intelligence. She managed to secure an object from within the headquarters of the Red Blades in Frosthanger. With this object you can teleport, or I can send you into a part of the building. We're not exactly sure where. Bondi will is the object, and she fishes around inside her travelling gear and her cloak and pulls out what looks like a perfume atomizer, like a kind of heavy crystal thing, oddly similar to the weird bottles that you drank from, but like for a dressing table. She kind of arches an eyebrow and shrugs and says, "This is what I got." Also, she has there's a word, a magic word that she has learned from a contact within the Red Blades. We do not know of its significance, but Bondi, you have it on a piece of paper, and she fishes about. She waves a piece of paper in the air. We're not sure of the significance of this magic word. It's a command word. It may open a secret safe or a secret office. So I could send you into the headquarters of the Red Blades. Maybe you could see if you could find the relevant materials, the researches.
Okay.
Yes, the documents. This might be an answer. But we have one problem.
Yeah.
And that is you, Burple, and you, Parker. How long have we got? Is what concerns me. We will be taking a risk. We have tried to track back the timeline. When Scaly investigated Ocoral's hotel room, it seemed like something had been living in there like an animal for days. The floor was covered in excrement and fish. Yes. This means that you may have, we think now our estimate is 3 to 5 days before first onset. When did you drink these potions? I think it was on Sunday, was it not? So you've had 3 days. You have felt some symptoms, yes? But you feel yourselves. You don't feel different. Yes, for now, of course. Everything is a risk. So, we send just Sessions, and we send Uncle Bugraft here, on the mission, and there is less risk, but then there is less resource. Or we send you all, you discover the papers and the researches that we need. We are pretty confident that given that information, we could come up with some kind of curative process. If we have to put you in a coma afterwards when you return, well, that is of no matter. We do not dare risk waking Scaly. Eligos is trying to establish how far advanced the condition is within him, and we dare not risk taking him out of his catatonia. So, it is to the 4 of you, and a decision must be made.
Well, I reckon we go.
And how would we get back?
You have teleport?
I have one, and I used it to get here.
I can furnish you with a scroll.
That would be helpful.
Yes, this is no problem. I feel a certain responsibility for your condition, although I would always say check the contents of a bottle before you drink it.
Well, let's go.
You take the risk?
Yep.
You're very courageous.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
We
at least
teleport?
We have a plan.
Tomorrow, Sir Alan.
Dun, dun, dun,
The
dun, dun,
wit
dun,
of
dun,
Marcus
dun, dun, dun,
gestures at one of the giant vista windows, and the vision of the lake bed is replaced with a vision of Frosthanger. Smoke curling from the longhouse chimneys and snow covering the ground. The little wit clicks his fingers, and this little force bubble that's been sitting around you disappears. You're able to walk across the bridge towards the window. If you please, you can hear the sounds of Frosthanger building around you, like you're almost there. The vision of Frosthanger starts to grow in your minds. You can hear seagulls, and you can hear the ship's bells, and you can hear the sound of people in the streets. You can start to feel the chill of the cold and the snow, and Marcus says, "Shut them through." And then he says, "Oh, wait a second. No.
Oh,
fuck.
no.
You appear in a room, you presume, because you've got no way particularly of knowing, within the Red Blades headquarters. Let us put you there. I looked through all of the minis that we use and keep finding ones that we're never going to use again. Grumpold, Alessandra. It's quite depressing.
Scaly.
Yeah, Scaly, exactly. Who knows? We've got Sessions, Burple, Parker. You appear in this room, but no Buggy. It's just the 3 of you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bloody hell. Just
What do you want to do?
divide and conquer going on here, right?
There are ornamental, caryatid statue columns around the outer walls. There are 2 boxes, they're cages really, with brightly plumaged birds in that are squawking and cackling about. There's a low dresser chest of drawers around one side. There are a couple of barrels. There's a desk with some stuff laid out on it. There is a desk in the corner. It looks like you're in some kind of cross between a storage area and an office. You can hear, you don't need to make a perception check for this, you're not quite sure from where, the sound of people moving about, like if you had snuck up through the upstairs window of a house with people downstairs who are unaware of you. That kind of certain level of sound. People just kind of going about their normal business.
Detect magic?
Detect magic. There's no magic in here. There's a little screen erected across one end of a kind of spur of the room. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That looks like it's not actually a permanent structure. Obviously you can't see through it, but it looks like it's one of those folding screens, like a modesty screen. That's it.
That's right. Doors? Windows?
Oh, yes, there are doors. I'm very sorry. There is a door to your north, just offset from the centre. The room is like a backwards L shape. There's a door at the top of the L, and there's a door on your left, as it were, in the northeast corner that would lead off to the east. So a door to the north, door to the east. They're very close to each other up in the top part of the L.
So I'm going to also cast See Invisibility, which is...
Yep.
Are there windows?
I've been looking at this. I'm going to say there are windows. I don't think the map is entirely clear,
Okay.
but I think these are windows.
Yeah, they look like windows to me on the south.
You're on the top floor of a building standing at the corner of 2 relatively major streets, looking out over that corner. Somebody give me an intelligence check. Any one of you needs to hit a number.
My strongest suit.
12.
7.
Not your strongest suit. Parker? Okay. Parker, you know where you are.
Yeah.
You're on the corner of the Way of the Queen Marshal, which is the big road that runs down the side of the Temple of Banshivu. and a north-south street called Horde Street that runs down, I think, towards the Royal Island. So quite a major intersection. You're overlooking that. It's Moonday morning. You're peering out the windows. I presume you're standing a little bit back from the window so you wouldn't be viewable from the street. There are some people going about their daily business, but there are also early signs of the revelry, the pre-Zeech Frexit celebration revelry that seems to have been building across the entire town as you get closer and closer to his grand gala. A couple of people with, drums, and some people kind of pipes and stuff, just dancing about, that kind of thing.
Like drums.
Nothing invisible.
Okay, so there's a screen. Let's go and check out that screen.
The screen is not so high that you can't stand on tiptoe and look over it. There's a little area behind it with a chamber pot. Let me just reveal that chamber pot to you, which we, at great expense, have had put into this environment. Voila.
I mean, the
But otherwise
production
nothing.
values are just off the scale, man.
The bottom line is we've been saving a lot of money recently by doing a lot of theatre of the mind stuff. So, and we've also, sorry, readers, you're not interested in any of this stuff, but that investment that we were after has come in.
Oh, excellent.
So, yeah, I mean, we can't go crazy, but suddenly you can have birds in cages, chamber pots, all of that kind of stuff that normally we just, work without. It's all back on the menu. Chamber pots aren't on the menu, obviously. Well, apart from Johnny's menu.
And the screen looks like a modesty thing or a whole, like a gate.
It's a modesty screen.
Yeah.
It's like a modesty. It's like it's a freestanding thing that you basically just
If
use
you're using
to,
the chamber pot. Yep. Okay.
If you're using the chamber pot. Yeah.
And is this a desk in the south?
Yes, it is. It looks like it's a writing desk, and there looks like
Let's have a look
it's
at
sort
what's
of
on that.
administrative paperwork. No kind of like, here is our secret alchemical stuff, unfortunately. And invisibility does more than just reveal invisible things, right? It's
Sacred
like
doors.
it reveals illusions and stuff, right? There's nothing like that. There's nothing secret or clever.
Detect magic running
looks-
around the whole area.
Yeah, no magical traces in the room. I'm just trying to think if there might be anything kind of mundanely magical, but I don't think so.
Okay.
And the desk in the northeast corner, and then there's a cabinet on
bigger
the
desk, more paperwork. I think it's about 9 o'clock on Moonday morning. I don't know about the hours of work in our hinterland hearth environment, but there's nobody at work here now, but you don't know how long you might have before people would start turning up. This looks like an actively used place of work.
Okay.
search it all.
Yeah.
How much time are you prepared to invest? A couple of minutes? I mean, you could search it for an hour, but I might interrupt you. So,
I mean, this looks like a...
Take 20 on it effectively. I mean, I know that's
yeah,
not a
take
thing,
20 on it
but-
effectively. 20 rounds is 2 minutes. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm not saying that you don't find anything that might be of mild interest. You might find a couple of things that give you the impression that the Red Blades as an organisation may not be that healthy, either in terms of money or in terms of internal relationships. Let's say, for example, you might find a couple of disciplinary notes around how a woman called Mahudril, who I think Marcus told you about, who runs the Red Blades, rules with a rod of iron. Is that the phrase? Well, maybe she's not that popular, or maybe there's a bit of disaffection in the ranks because there are a couple of notations maybe about a couple of employees who are not particularly happy.
Okay.
Other than that, nothing particularly interesting.
Okay.
Okay. What do you want to do now?
So, sorry.
Oh, can we listen at the doors?
Yeah. I was looking at that door.
Yeah, give me perception checks. I can tell you what we can hear without a perception check. Parker, if you stand at the northeast door,
Yeah.
the sound of movement, the sound of other people in the building is coming through that door with a sort of slightly echoey quality, like it may be coming up a stairwell or something. It's not approaching. I'm just saying that that's where it seems to be coming from.
Is there
Now,
a
give me
keyhole
perception
that
checks.
can be looked through?
There is a keyhole that can be looked through. I would say
19.
that... Okay.
19. No, 19.
Okay, Sessions, you can't hear anything through the door to the north. Parker, your perception check tells you a couple of things. You can scope out what's through the door, through the keyhole. Through the keyhole. You're looking at some kind of landing. Obviously, the aperture is extremely narrow, but you can see a wall opposite, and you can see that there seems to be a rug or carpet on the floor that you can see the far edge of. That chamber that you're looking into is lit by, looks like torchlight, but you can't actually see any torches. And your perception check tells you that the sounds that you can hear of motion and movement, your estimation is they're probably not proximate to you. They're probably not directly below you. It sounds like they're echoing up from maybe as much as a floor or two. There we go. Now what?
Well, I'm thinking invisibility on the three of us.
I mean, we can open that door, can't we?
I'm going
Which one?
to
The one that I'm
cast-
looking through.
I'm going to cast a 4th level invisibility spell, which should do all three of us.
Right. Roing.
Can you get two of you with third level invisibility?
Yeah. Why?
Because I can do it on myself. If you want to protect a 4th level slot, I don't know what you've got more
Sounds
utility from.
I may as well do a 4th.
Okay,
Cool.
we bask in
You
your
disappear.
Well,
You can-
I mean, the only
you'll help
the
with
only
the sessions.
spell that is innate 4th is Dimension Door,
Door.
I think,
power. Yeah. Okay.
or Confusion, but I rarely
So-
use Confusion.
I'm wondering whether it's worth me also having a listen at the door to
North
the
door.
north as well.
Give it a shot.
Oh, no. Okay.
Well, you can't hear anything either.
It lingered on the 18. And then...
It dangled. What are we doing?
Why don't we try the northern door?
Try the northern door.
It's not locked.
Can we open it quietly?
If you're trying to actively make it, you know, somebody give me a stealth check if you're trying to open the door so as not to make any noise.
He's got good stealth.
Not me.
Alessandra.
I've got +4.
Oh, it's better than me. I've only got +3.
Oh, well, I guess it's me then, unless Parker has
Parker.
better stealth. What's Parker got?
Parker.
Yeah, I only have +3 as well.
Okay, so I will try opening the door,
Yes.
getting a
Very
19.
nice. Well, it's got well-oiled hinges anyway. Opens towards you, reveals a storeroom.
Okay.
A not very interesting storeroom full of crap, basically. It's a couple of jars, almost look like canopic jars. Don't know if they're used for stored wine or whatever. They've got wax seals and some crates that are stacked on top of each other. Just looks a bit like, you know, the stationery cupboard, but it's not got stationery in it.
Do you have a quick rifle through it?
Good search.
Do you want to take another couple of minutes, or
Well, it's a
what
much
would you
smaller
do?
room, so I'm sure we like.
Yeah, take a minute to just quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, without opening every single
Yeah.
thing, right? But looking, nothing that seems to be relevant to your urgent need. Just stuff, gubbins, stores.
All right. I'm going to open the door.
Western
the
door?
western door. Yeah.
Do you want to try and do it stealthily?
Yeah. This one will be a 1. There we go. It's a 1.
Do you want to use your Ort dice, or do you want to leave it as it is?
No.
A 1, Verpal.
Yes.
I can't see how a dice roll can determine whether or not a door is squeaky, right? So I presume the door is quiet enough, so it's you, basically, like a 6-year-old with a bag of bells or whatever.
Trips over his
You
own feet,
have-
falls into the room.
You've yeah, exactly. Or you fumble with the lock or something. Anyway, as you open the door, this sort of clattering sound echoes up and down the stairwell. Have you disturbed the people downstairs? Have you made trouble for yourself? Or are you going to be left undisturbed?
Right.
So you continue to creep around this place? Well, we're not going to find out now. We're going to find out when we pick things
Yes.
up. Next.
Very good.
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Spire of Long Shadows and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Spire of Long Shadows was written by Jesse Decker. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening.